Hello everyone, Adrian here, and I think this video is going to be called Why I Left My Job That Paid $58 an hour, almost $1 a minute. And I think everyone's going to be like, what? Fucking $58 an hour? Whoa, like, no, I would deal with anything, but trust me, like, there's only so much money that's worse, there's only so much money that you're going to want to have to deal with, being disrespected constantly and just affecting your mood and health and mental health. It's not worth it. But anyway, so here are the reasons that I left. So before I start, here's what I used to do. I used to be a retail pharmacist. Bam! Alarm bell should be ringing up right there. Anyone who is a pharmacist in the retail sector will tell you. And anyone who worked in retail will tell you. Retail is retail. Whether you're in a photo counter at a clothing store, whether you're working in a pharmacy, you still have to deal with the same bullcrap. So let's get started. And I'm probably going to make maybe more videos that are a little more detailed, because this is more of a broad overview of what the problem is. And this is going to be like, an overview of why I left, and I might make videos like, okay, here is the problem with retail pharmacy. Here's some of the issues with retail pharmacy, why people are leaving, and I might make a series on that. But first thing, corporate. Holy fucking hell, man. Imagine getting told how to do your job from someone who's never done your job before, who's never went to college, has a high school diploma, and they're telling you how to run a pharmacy. It's like, how to do things in a pharmacy. You're just like, I can do this without you. You can't do this without me. That's literally in the law. And they're trying to tell you how to do things. You got higher ups, people that are district managers, district leaders, house supervisors, people that are up there that have never worked in a pharmacy, that aren't pharmacists, that don't have a pharmacist license at all. And they're trying to tell you need to do this, this, and you're just like, what? You know what I mean? It's like, this makes no sense. And they're just so out of touch. Like, oh, hey, you're short-staffed, but you need to do these things first. Like, what they do, and it's like, do you not see? I just did 70 COVID. You know what I mean? So basically, we don't have time to do that. And they didn't care. They were just so out of touch. Hey, no, let's give them Jean Day and Pizza Day. Which, like, I don't need pizza. I can afford pizza. I don't want to need to wear jeans to work. I don't need to do that. Like, give me more money or like, but it was stuff like that. Like, the corporate they didn't get it. They were so out of touch. 2, disrespect. Disrespect from higher ups and customers alike. Like, oh my god, like, I gotta tell you, you don't get paid enough to be yelled at by people. That's 100% true. And then you don't get especially paid enough to have to deal with the disrespect from higher ups. People that you will get berated, like your child, like, why do you do this? Blah, 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 blah. You'll get lectured and talked down to from a higher up. Same thing with customers, but it's just like the disrespect was just ridiculous. Like, it's like that no. Like, I don't get paid enough for that. That's ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean? If we were not here, like, if you did that, I'd smack the crap out of you. Like, I really would smack the shit out of you because I don't care. And like, you're not gonna talk to me that way. And so, yeah, disrespect on 2 fronts. Another reason, no work-life balance. Like, what's the point of making this much money if you can't enjoy it? Go traveling, eat out at a nice place, spend it the way, you know what I mean? What's the point of making all that money? There isn't. Like, 'cause all you're doing is working, and for the love of God, like, I was working like 7 days in a row, 10 days in a row. Oh, hey, we're gonna schedule him for 50 hours this week, and then 40 hours that way. And not just that too, but oh, hey, he has a day off. Let's try to get him to come in and text him or call him to come in. I was like, I just worked 7 in a row. I don't want to fucking come in. Like, I have a life. I have stuff that needs to be done. And I live by myself, and I'm single. If they don't get done, they don't get done. No one's there to pick up the slack. But yeah, it was just like these, just no work-life balance whatsoever. And I think a lot of pharmacies, retailers could attest to that. And also the fact that a lot of, I'll get into that later, but that was another reason. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, 2, short staffing and the working conditions. Like, unbelievable. Like, because of how badly people were being treated, a lot of people left. Pharmacists and technicians, they all left. A lot of people that have been there for years. We're talking like not 1 2 years, we're talking 5 years, 10 years. I was in there for about 3.5, and kind of right along the timeline, because I always never really planned to do this forever, this retail sector. I was like maybe 3 years, and then start looking, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a little too long now, and thankfully I found something else. But the working conditions were just abhorrent. It's just like, this is not fucking McDonald's. If I give you something that's wrong, or you take something that's wrong, you can die. You can get admitted to a hospital. And there have been stories of that happening. You know what I mean? I don't know if anyone's died recently from a medication there, but there have been people that have been hospitalized because they've gotten the wrong medication. And, or people that have gotten the wrong medication and that, they had to see a doctor because they weren't feeling well. But still, it's like, it's dangerous. And the amount of work that you had to do with that short staff, it's dangerous. Again, if you mess up at McDonald's, person just gets angry, like, oh, and then you give them a refund. It's no harm, no foul. There is foul and harm here. And it's just, every time I was going, I felt like I'm putting my license on the line here. And I feel like I'm not doing a service to these people. I'm a danger to these people. And it's not if I make a mistake, it's going to be when. And hopefully when that happens, the patient doesn't have harm. But it started becoming more like, I started feeling more like that was going to happen. And it's just the amount of work you had to do. Imagine trying to do 70 vaccines. Oh, I still had to talk to people about the medication. I still had to take verbal prescriptions, still had to answer the phone, still had to check the prescriptions to make sure the doctor didn't do anything stupid, still had to make sure that the medications were filled right. And at the same token, we start to do other bull crap that corporate wants us to do. You have to do this, and at the same time, you have to try to keep everything together. It's like, oh, and by the way, you're not going to have any technician help or anything, and you're going to have to bring people out the counter and at the drive-thru. It's like all this stuff. And the way I'll put it, imagine trying to do laundry, bake a cake, make risotto, feed a baby. Imagine you're trying to do that all at once. How successful are you going to be in any of those endeavors? Not very much. So that's the equivalent, how I would say it. It's like, it was dangerous. And it's just like, and instead of like cutting service, it's like, oh, hey, maybe we just close the drive-thru. Okay, hey, maybe we stop doing vaccinations. No, do everything. And I couldn't, and I was like, okay, I need to leave. This is ridiculous. So that's another reason. Short staffing and the workload, like unmanageable. 2, and then another thing, the customers. Fucking God sakes, man. It's just like customers, like disrespectful, yelling for things that aren't your fault. And not just that, but the lack of accountability. Like, I get it if you're like, a teen or, you're really elderly and you're not fully there. Like, yeah, I don't mind that. You're elderly and you can't really manage your mental health. Like, I don't mind that. But when you're like my age and you're like someone who's a sound adult, like, you need to take accountability for yourself. I'm sorry, but no. You need to know when you're running out of medication. You need to know what you're running out of medication. Have an idea what your medication's used for. I don't care if you know the name. Some of those names are hard to pronounce. Like, but at least have an idea. You need to know that. At least know, don't blame us because you're out of refills and you didn't know it. You know what I mean? Don't blame us because your insurance is charging you. We don't know why they're charging you that. That's not our prerogative. They gave us a price. But so many people just don't want to take accountability or listen. And then they yell at you and berate you. It's like, I don't get, at a certain point, it kind of became like, I don't get paid enough to deal with that. I don't. Like, you know what I mean? I was again making really good money, but not enough to deal with that for like 3.5 years. It wears on you, and you're just like, okay, I'm out of here. So that was another reason. That's just like the customers like, come on, dude. And then for me, I was called a floater, so I had to travel everywhere, and that was another thing that like it was just like. After 3.5 years, it started getting to me, especially now with gas prices. It's like, gas prices are like $4 a barrel, if you're lucky. It's like $4 a gallon, if you're lucky. And it's just like, I'm over here traveling, 50 miles this way, 70 miles that way, 80 miles this way, like in every direction. Like, I did the math. I was like, I'm spending an average of like 30 days in my car commuting. You know what I mean? And then it's like 30 days. And then I looked up this new job. I was like, oh, it's 15 minutes away. I'm going to have weekends off all the time. Oh, wait. I'm not actually spending this much money on gas. Because I was like getting gas like almost 3 or 4 times a week. It's like, it's insane. Insane. And I don't even have a gas guzzler. I have a Honda Civic. That's a good gas saving car. But the traveling just kind of got annoying. It's like, oh, I had to work 2 to 10, and I had to be at 7 in the morning at this location. It's like, it just got ridiculous. I was like, I'm so done with it. I can't do the traveling anymore. It's ridiculous. At first it was, oh, okay, that's fine. But when he keeps sending you so far away consistently for like over a year and a half, it's like, enough's enough. Like, enough is enough. And then the last reason was like the drama between like coworkers. It's like, you would think people that have a doctor of pharmacy degree would be a little more mature. Like, and I'm immature in my personal life. I'm immature in my personal life. Like, I fart, I love fart jokes. Like, I'm immature, but when I come to work, I work. Like, I don't try to get involved with drama. I do my crap. I had to put on the mask. The fake professional, I'm normal mask. And it's exhausting, believe me. Because especially when, you know, apparently they think I may be on the autistic spectrum, which would explain another chunk of my life. You have the bipolar piece and maybe autistic spectrum, then that would make a lot more sense for those pieces to converge. But it's exhausting, right? But you would be surprised how many people there just are so fucking petty. Like, they hold grudges. They're petty. You know what I mean? And they just... there's just drama for no reason. It's like, this is not high school. I don't think this is high school. And, oh, I can tell you a story about my pharmacy manager. Ugh, what a petty person. But let me just say this for that person. When you're someone who, like, texts your ex-husband that happy anniversary of our divorce, to be that, like, rude. Like, how petty do you have to be to remember to do that every year, to actually send a text, and then to remember the day? Like, holy hell, you're some like nasty petty human being. But you would find that sprinkled throughout like these areas, and it was just like, my God, like, man, I don't want to deal with that shit. And those are some of the reasons I left. Like, there's a decent amount, and it's just, again, toxic. Not worth the money that I was getting paid. The new job that I had now is a little bit of a pay cut, a little bit. But then when I did the math, I was like, oh, math on toes, math on gas I was spending about a year. I was like, this is not that much of a pay cut. This is not really too much of a pay cut. Maybe a few grand, like 3, 4 maybe. And then when I did the math on the days, like, oh, I'm saving 30 days of time. I'm spending 30 days on my car a month. So it's like, that is invaluable and priceless. But those are the reasons I left my, $58 an hour job. And again, like I said, I'm probably going to make a series of, just say either why I left retail, reason number 1, and go more in depth with it. But anyway, have a good one, everyone.